Will the Cowboys win this weekend against Washington?
No. I like the fact, Skip, that I didn't like when I first heard this, Jaylon Smith talking about the team after the team that they're supposed to play. And then he clarified it, say we're taking one game at a time, is that the most important opponent is Washington. You don't worry about Philly. The Philly should be the last thing. You shouldn't even know where Philly is on the map. You shouldn't even want a Philly cheesesteak. You shouldn't want anything Philly. Philly should be the furthest thing from their mind. The most important thing is the football team that plays in D.C. That's where your focus should be. But it's still, Skip, because everybody in this division is horrible. This isn't a must-win. Think about that, Skip, for a second. You have a team. You have teams. Nobody, 7 weeks into the season, has more than 2 wins. Nobody. And you talk about must-win. Man, y'all lose 3, 4 more games and still win the division in a row. It's not a must-win. You just got to play better. And I know Washington is offensively challenged. They score about 18 points a game. But the Giants were scoring 12 points a game and went and got 30-plus against the Cowboys. So given that, would I be surprised if Washington hung 40? No. I'm not predicting them to score that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Washington team, they built their team on the defensive line. Ryan Kerrigan, Chase Young, high draft pick Jonathan Allen, Mark Sweat. They got guys that can go get the quarterback, Skip. And so and with that beat-up offensive line, so now you're starting Cam Irving, and you still got, backups playing other positions. So I think I'm going to take the football team to beat the Dallas football team because they should, the last name, you don't even mention the last name. They ain't nothing. The Dallas football team plays the Washington football team, and I'm taking the Washington football team 24-23.
Does Dallas even qualify to be called a football team? I don't even know, just a team.
Okay, the Dallas team. I'm taking the Dallas team then.
You have my back up against the wall right now because I spent all night and very early this morning trying to convince myself that Dallas can win this game, even against the Washington football team, which has won one game, and now it feels like long ago because it was opening day against the Eagles.
Yes.
When the Eagles were really bad.
They came from 17 down.
They did. So what do I know about my quote-unquote football team? I know that my defense is on pace to give up more points than any defense in the history of professional football. I know that my offensive line is a disaster zone, that only one starter is left if, in fact, Zach Martin can't go, and he did not practice all week with a concussion that he suffered, obviously, in the previous disaster against Arizona on Monday night. Remember, they played Monday night, and they have to travel after a Monday night game. Not cool.
No.
Not the best circumstance.
That's not ideal.
No. So is Zach Martin going to play? I have no idea, but you could say it's doubtful that he's going to play.
Right.
So all I have left over is one starter who is by far the weakest link when they used to be a top 5 offensive line in Connor Williams.
Yes.
That's all I got left, except for a Cam Irving that you point out. He did start 8 games for Kansas City last year. He just got healthy from injury and illness. And he was once upon a time long ago the 19th overall pick out of Florida State in the draft. So, okay, so you got some tiny ray of hope at left tackle. But I also know that my team is leading the league by far in turnovers and that my defense does not take the ball away. Hence, my team is leading the league by far in negative turnover differential at minus 12. It's horrendously bad. No, it's, minus 12. Okay.
Yes.
So then I look at this defensive front, and you didn't go far enough because when I look all the way across it, even into the backups, the edge rushers who come off the bench, Chase Young was the 2nd overall pick. You mentioned Jonathan Allen was the 17th overall. You didn't mention Daron Payne, who was the 13th overall out of Bama. Sweat, you mentioned, was the 26th overall. Ryan Kerrigan was the 16th overall pick. And then Ryan Anderson out of Alabama was a 2nd-round pick, and Bostic, their inside linebacker, was a 2nd-round pick. And now they have Darby from the Eagles, who was the Eagles' best DB, I thought. So he starts at corner. He was a 2nd-round pick. I'm just telling you, they have high picks everywhere.
They put their money in the defensive line. If you look at what they've done, first-rounders across the board.
Okay. So How on earth can we block that? Well, we can't unless Zeke just gives himself up and decides, I'm going to be more of a decoy and I'm going to be a blitz blocker because they're going to bring the house because that's what Arizona did.
I wouldn't necessarily bring the house, Skip, because I don't believe you can block my front four. Okay. I don't believe Cam Irvin can block Chase Young. I don't believe the right tackle can block Ryan Kerrigan.
Yep.
And Payne and those guys inside. I don't believe they can do that. So I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to compromise my secondary because I don't believe your front five can block my front four.
Well, you're probably right. And yet, I think on key downs, any third and long, I think they might bring more just to destroy poor Andy Dalton. And by the way, speaking of Andy Dalton, it also dawned on me early this morning that I always have to call him Andy Dalton. He's a two-name quarterback, and I don't think that bodes well because he's not beloved enough to become Andy. So if I say Andy, you don't know, am I talking about Andy Roddick or somebody? Yeah, right.
That's what, if I hear Andy, I'm thinking, you say football, I'm thinking Andy Reid.
And nobody calls him Dalton, right?
No.
So every reference to Andy Dalton on the show, to me, is always Andy Dalton.
Right.
Okay, can he stand up under an onslaught from this front or blitzers or whatever? I don't know. He had a hard time against Arizona. I thought he stood up as best that he could. But he has 3 potential 1,000-yard receivers, and that's all I got on offense because Zeke, who did apologize to the team, who said he promised that he was fixing his fumbling problem. Do I trust that? Have I seen? What does my eye test tell me about Zeke? Not enough.
Right.
I don't see the Zeke of old. And I'm not saying he's old Zeke.
Right.
I just don't see what I used to see.
The guy that came in 2016
I'm
and
sorry,
led the league
I can't
twice
see
in his first 3 years.
Now, back to my defense. I continue to hear from people I know in Dallas that they have basically revolted on the new coordinator, Mike Nolan. I've pointed out to you, you knew Mike Nolan because he was an assistant when you were in Denver.
And in Baltimore.
He had great runs with the Giants, and Denver and Baltimore back in the day.
Yes.
But of late, he has not had a great run because the last time he was a coordinator was in Atlanta, 2012, 13, and 14. And his defenses allowed the 27th most yards in 12, 29th most in 13, and then in 14, the worst yards allowed were Mike Nolan's Atlanta Falcons defense, and he got fired. Okay? He got this job because he's close with Mike McCarthy. He hired Mike McCarthy to be his coordinator when Mike Nolan became the head coach in San Francisco, where he never had a winning record and got fired in his 4th year. Okay, so I am being told again and again by people I trust there that nobody believes in his system. They have no confidence in it or in him, that they can't communicate with him, that they've never been on the same page, that he's changed his tune several times, like I want this, no, I want that he can't adjust on the fly during games. So it's rampant lack of trust in the coordinator. Well, is that not a recipe for disaster?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you need the guys to believe in what you're doing and what you're teaching.
So Sean Lee is supposed to be back. I don't know how much he'll be able to play, but he's eligible to play. He's made Pro Bowls before, as you know. So that if he's on the field for some of the game, it's possible my defense will have 7 players on the field who have been in the Pro Bowl. Is that good? 7 out of 11? Wouldn't you say that's like really good?
Right.
Like, is it possible that would be the most Pro Bowlers on a unit in the league in this coming Sunday? Right? And yet, they're giving up 36 points a game, which is historically bad.
Correct.
How do you explain that? It's because there's a mutiny going on. There's a revolt going on internally where they just don't trust the new defensive coordinator. And I don't get it. I'm going to hark back to 2 players. Clinton Dix. He's made a Pro Bowl before, and they gave him $4 million. And I thought, because Mike McCarthy had him in Green Bay, I thought he would fit and be somebody, a stalwart. And again, he's 27 years of age, so it's not like he's old.
Right.
And somehow he clashed with Mike Nolan and didn't fit, and they cut him.
Right.
And then, remember, they went and got Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr, believe it or not, has started every game he's ever played in the National Football League. He started from his rookie year forward, all 16 games. It went Kansas City, Dallas, Baltimore. Last year, he started every game for the Baltimore Ravens. And he was brought in first on the practice squad, but they tried to make him a safety in this defense to give them some safety at the back of the defense, right? And I was told he clashed with Mike Nolan, and they dumped him. Okay, what is going on here? It's horrifying to me because this defense should be way better. So let's look at the Redskins. They average scoring 18 points a game. Think about this. My defense averages giving up 36 a game. Well, is it possible they're going to double their output in this game?
The Giants almost tripled there. They went from 12 to 34.
Okay, so is it possible they're going to hit the average of 36? I can't believe it. I just keep holding out hope that somehow they'll just say, heck with him, and just start playing defense. I've seen flashes of it. I saw it in the first 3 series against Kyler on Monday night. They looked okay. I saw flashes against the Giants when they looked pretty good. So could they look pretty good against Kyle Allen and this Washington offense? Sure. So I'm just going to hang on. I don't know. I keep going. I don't want to jinx them, but I'm just going to be a fan.
It's too late. It's too late.
Okay?
It ain't you jinxing them.
I can't jinx them any worse. They're just bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to be a fan, and I'm going to cling to the tiniest bit of hope in this division.
Okay.
I'm going to say they managed to score 27 points. I'm going to say Andy Dalton is given just enough time to do some damage with his 3 receivers, and they somehow get to 27 and hold Washington to 24. That's my score, 27 to 24.
We're close. I mean, I got 24-23 Washington, but we got the 24 part right.
Well, you're not picking with great conviction then.
No.
Okay.
No. Skip, because I can't pick. The sad part is that when you this division, whomever is playing whomever, how can you have oh yeah, I put that one in the bank. I got this one. No, this is not the division.
Nobody's got anything.
Yeah, exactly. This is not the division you stick your chest out like, yeah, I got this one.
My God. Just remember, I do get Randy Gregory back, and I do get, I hope, Sean Lee back, and maybe even a Wouzier. Okay,
Well, they better do something. Well, Skip, I don't know. Can you switch, if you change the D coordinator, what defense are you going to run?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Skip,
And I don't know who you elevate.
Right.
Jim Tom Sula? I don't know.
But he's an old line.
That's what I mean. But I don't know, because he's had, he's been a head coach.
Right.
So I don't know. I have no idea.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.